back to today's video. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a video all about cottagecore. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this type of video. Well, as much as I do love the aesthetic so much, there are some minor issues along with it and along with some of the ideologies. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about that. I know in my other video, my last video, you guys really liked the commentary style video, so I thought I should be putting some more out. And what better yet to talk about cottagecore and even educating on some topics that no one really talks about. So if you would like to watch today's video and keep on continuing watching, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below other videos I should do. And with that, let's get on to the video. So if you don't know what cottagecore is basically the internet aesthetic which celebrates a return to traditional styles and crafts such as foraging, baking, and pottery, and is related to similar nostalgic aesthetic movements such as grandma-core, farm-core, goblin-core, and fairy-core. Now, I really love cottagecore. Cottagecore is something that I really love. I've tried basically every aesthetic out there that I could, and just nothing fit me like cottagecore does. Nothing fits my style and everything that I love as much as cottagecore does. Now, that being said, there are some things in cottagecore that I don't really agree with, and that there's some aspects that people really try to take away from. So before I get onto the negative, I would really like to speak about the positive things about cottagecore. And speaking about the positive things that the aesthetic proves and shows and just everything that I love about it. Some things I really do love about it is I love the very simple and floral vibes to it. Cottagecore is very farmy, so it's very simple. Florals are a big, huge thing, and I am a sucker for florals. I have a little dress on today that has little flowers on it, but it's just very florally, it's very flower based, and everything's just green. And I really like that because it just brings some happiness into my life and some brightness, even though right now the world kind of seems a little dark. It's very cozy and quaint. Now, it being that is like it's very open to very things that just remind you of grandma's house and remind you of your grandparents' house and just makes you cuddle up in a warm blanket and sipping a nice hot cup of tea. It's just things that just make you feel so comfortable and so happy, and I just love that feeling. I love the feeling like someone's there holding you even when they aren't. The importance of nature and land is something that I feel like that now, especially in today's society, we truly kind of forget because of the fact that we are so based on everything that's happening outside our life, especially social media and phones and technology, and just everything we do is very much based in what jobs we have. And a lot of jobs right now are taken inside the home. And I feel like now, even though we have this open world terrain, there's a global pandemic going on. We can't go anywhere. So I feel like right now, especially, a lot of people just realize what they have in front of them. I mean, I have a beautiful lawn right in front of me, full of a bunch of greenery and trees, and even though I may not live in the prettiest of place, it's still a place and something that makes me happy. I can just sit here on my bed, look out my window, and just think about all the pretty birds and butterflies that fly around, and it's just something that makes me happy. Especially during this corona time where everything's kind of sad, everything's just slowed down, and our lives aren't what they used to be. And our lives will never really be like that again. But it's just knowing that I can look out and still see the same scenery, see the same green, still see the same tree, just makes me feel like a sense of comfort, and makes me know that even though everything may feel like it's gone to crap, and that something's there to keep me happy no matter what. Simplicity. Simplicity is something that's very normal in it too. It's very simple. Everything's very simple. And just something that you don't really have to go all out for. You can find anything and you can just make it. Like, cottagecore really is an open terrain to everything. Like, as long as you have the basis down of it, you're basically in the cottagecore aesthetic. You don't need to have every single thing. And you're just very simple and grand, and everything's just the way it is. Happiness. Oh my god, cottagecore just makes me so happy. It brings me so much joy just thinking about it. I love going on Pinterest and I love looking at all the pictures of all the sweet little cows and the animals. Oh, I love the animals. I love seeing all the animals, especially people when they have farms. And then I love seeing all the floral things, especially the picnic dates. Oh, It's just something that really like makes my heart go all fuzzy. It makes me so warm inside. It's so cute. Especially, oh my god, I'm gonna put a picture right here. And it's these cute little cows that I found, and they have little heart shapes right here. They're so adorable. I am going off topic, but you get what I mean. It's just very cute. I love it. Frilly things, a lot of it's lacy things. I love lace. I always have ever since I was little. Lace is just something that makes me so happy and just brings like a little comfort in my heart. I'm pretty sure my heart is literally lined with lace. And like I said earlier, it's open to anyone, like any minority, any person could be in the cottagecore aesthetic. Like, it doesn't take that much to be in it, as long as you just have a touch of nature and simplicity and just want a traditional more style. That's not exactly like most aesthetics. A lot of aesthetics is like hardcore. Like, I used to want to be alt and I could not. Like, I don't listen to the music. I definitely don't listen to music. My music taste is so off there. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you this, but if you want to listen to my Cottagecore Spotify playlist, I will link it down below, and I'll link it in the card right here. And you can go listen to it whenever you want, and I suggest, because it brings me really happy Cottagecore vibes. And I'll also link my little indie playlist. It's called Childhood Dreamer, and it just makes me feel nostalgic. I know that's not really in the video, but if you want to check it out and have some music to listen to new artists, it's there. But it's very open to anyone, and just like alt, I don't listen to music, I don't dress alt. I do have the political views, but that's not exactly being alt, that's just being leftist. But I just couldn't do that. I couldn't be goth, I couldn't do anything in that. I tried. I even was a Visco girl for a time period, and that wasn't really good. Yeah, that didn't really help. That just made me actually despise myself even more, and just so many other things that really didn't suit me and really didn't make me happy. So I just found cottagecore whenever I was kind of feeling a little low in quarantine, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect for me. This is what I want. This is what I aspire to want. I need this. And I got into it, and it makes me really happy. Yeah, it's just really open to anyone, and it really makes me happy knowing the fact that anyone belongs, even though when they feel like they don't. And I felt like a long time that I didn't belong, and then I realized this aesthetic is meant to be for people who don't really feel belonged, or feel like they just want a simpler life and a simpler point of view on the world. That being said, even though I just talked about wonderful, beautiful things about the aesthetic, there are some bad things. It's not necessarily aesthetic itself, it's just the ideologies some of it has, and some people make, especially a lot of other people make, and that's really what I want to be talking about. So the first one I want to talk about is it's very not size inclusive with the clothing. As much as cottagecore is meant open for anything and open for everyone, there are certain clothes that are meant to be like, this is kind of what the style is. That being said, a lot of those clothes being said, if you want to see what I'm talking about, I will put some pictures right here of some of the clothes. There are a lot of sizes that are not available to us. There's not a lot of sizes available to plus size people. And it kind of sucks because I want to dress like everyone else in the aesthetic does, but it's really hard for me because I have a hard time finding clothes already, let alone finding it to go along with the aesthetic that I want that's not even that popularized. Like, it's hard to find that stuff for skinnier people. I can't imagine how hard it's going to be for me, myself. But it's just, clothes are kind of hard to find, and it's kind of frustrating because you see everyone else having all these cute clothes in the aesthetic and you're like, well, I can't. So what I really would like for more is more size inclusivity. That's not really necessary on the people in the aesthetic, it's a lot of the companies and clothing and stuff that is made, just in general, to make sizes bigger, to make clothing bigger for other sizes. So I would just recommend that if you are plus size and in cottagecore, I suggest just looking around. That's what I really do. I just look around as much as I can and find stuff that could be considered. I wear a lot of florals. I wear a lot of like natural nude beige tones, and that's what I usually found in it. It's a lot of like pastel beige tones. Would be easy for you to find, so that's considered kind of cottagecore. Just find things that kind of like match in what the pictures you would find on Pinterest are. That's what I really like suggest doing. I suggest just looking on Pinterest, especially if you go on the little like Pinterest, you can search for cottagecore fashion. They have this little like shop tag. You can look through the clothing and the shop tag and then just like screenshot or something, then have it just to look at and like find things that are similar to that. And I suggest doing that. It's really helped me a lot. I know I don't necessarily wear everything that's kind of cottagecore, but I just find stuff that I feel like to me would be very much cottagecore and would be matching the aesthetic. Next topic, as hard as this is, and especially a lot of times, cottagecore can be very white. And as much as I love this aesthetic, it can be very white. It's very promoted as mostly white. And I just don't see a lot of BIPOC creators and BIPOC cottagecore people get promoted as much. But it does feel very like white, and it can feel very like neglected towards BIPOC creators in cottagecore. And I just want to see more BIPOC. I want to be promoted more BIPOC. I want more people that are BIPOC to be able to feel like they belong, because I know, especially me, I sometimes don't feel like I belong, and I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily like them. Does that really mean I belong? And yes, anyone belongs. It doesn't matter if you're BIPOC, if you're in the LGBTQ plus community, you all belong. And this community is based on just happiness, and I just want to see that more ingrained into it. Especially since the popularity of cottagecore, I just want to see more diversity, basically. I want to see more diversity. I want to see more people that are different. That some people that aren't the standard of beauty. Some people that are just people, that are just living and being happy. Because a lot of it's basically pretty white people. And it can be kind of like neglecting. And it's like, I don't look like them. Does that mean I belong? And you do. So if you are BIPOC in cottagecore like I am, please don't feel neglected. Please don't feel like you don't belong, because you absolutely do. It's our job to make sure that this whole community knows that we belong and knows that we are meant to be here, because we do. Because look at us, we're so pretty. Look at us in our little floral dresses and lace. We absolutely belong. Now that I am done with the bad, let's get on to the dirty, aka what's really about this aesthetic, the necessities kind of version. If you want to be in cottagecore, these are kind of like the necessity kind of things. Farming is a big thing here. I know I can't personally farm because I live in a suburb. Not really a suburb, but it's like I don't have farmland next to me like that I can go in my yard and I can do farming. But farming is a very kind of thing that's kind of like open to it. So fruits, vegetables, kind of things, a lot of it can get intertwined with baking, and baking is a huge, huge, huge part of it. Baking and sewing is like huge in it. So farming, if you don't have necessarily funds to farm, you can do it along with the baking, and you can like bake little treats and little tarts and little everything. You can bake like different things. Planting and flowers. This is huge. Floral aspects are huge in this. I know I have so many floral things in my room, and I plan on getting more. I'm redecorating my room, so you should be seeing a new video about that coming soon. But floral things are a lot of important things in this whole aesthetic. It's very floral, very plant, very green. So if you want to do something and decorate your room, maybe even, I suggest getting some like greenery. You can go to the Dollar Tree, I know, and you can get a lot of green stuff, especially the flowers, the fake flowers from the Dollar Tree. You can make a bunch of floral arrangements and like take like green stuff greenery. I think they have green vines at Dollar Tree. So you can put those in your room, or you can just interpret like green tones and floral stuff in your clothing, is what I do a lot. Foraging, I don't necessarily forage because I just don't have the space to. I don't have anywhere I could. But foraging is kind of just like looking around. I guess if you see a pretty flower or something, to do that. I know a lot of people pest flowers, and I know a lot of people like hunt for mushrooms. But make sure you're doing it in a safe way, by the way. Some mushrooms aren't safe to ingest or even forage sometimes, so just make sure you know what you're doing with those. But I know I can't really forage, but for me, foraging is also like looking around, kind of like antiquing, finding stuff in like antique shops. Speaking of which, I didn't really talk about this in necessities part of beforehand, but a lot of the aesthetics very vintage stuff. So if you are having a little trouble finding stuff that's just like cottagecore, look through more vintage things. It's easier to find vintage things more than cottagecore, like the tag. So if you're looking for stuff, look for vintage things. And then you can just incorporate it, because a lot of cottagecore is very vintage kind of vibes, traditional. So I suggest doing that. If you find like in the thrift store, any antique shops, peddlers malls, just look through. And that's kind of like cottagecore. Cottagecore and like vintage are very much intertwined with one another. So I suggest doing that. Like I said earlier, simplicity is a key part. You don't need like so many things. It's very simple. It's very just in your mindset, and you just enjoy it kind of thing, you know? Clothing already talked about, and sustainability is a big part in it because it's about traditional land, everything. If you can't afford to be very sustainable, even doing a little bit of a part is good. Even doing a little bit is just works. A lot of it's just protecting everything in nature, land, everything, and just keeping it safe. So if you want to do that, you absolutely can. And that's basically the end of this video. Oh my god. I can't believe I've went through everything of cottagecore for you. If you're interested in aesthetic and want to know more things, DM me or anything. I am very open. You can DM me through Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. You can DM me if you're not under the age of 16, because they changed the things now. But if you want to DM me, ask me questions, ask me anything. I can help you find anything if you want. If you need help finding certain things, especially if you're plus size, you can DM me and I can help you if you want. But if you just want to ask questions in the comments, I will happily be able to answer any of those. But that's basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below other videos I should do. And with that, I'm going to go and edit this video. I'm going to go enjoy my tea. That's probably very cold now. But I love you very much. Goodbye. Mwah.